Hey folks, no, I haven't talked to you a little bit about the work going on out at the farm, but I'll be honest with you, that's because there hasn't been any work going on. We got in there with a dozer about 2 months ago, almost 3 months ago now. Ooh, that sun is bright. And we caused more damage than good, I think. Pretty much everywhere we drove with the dozer, we either compacted the soil or we scraped off a little bit. And since the land is so flat, it's almost a bowl, but it's so flat that when it rains, the water just runs to the low spots, which happens to be everywhere that we drove with the dozer, which happens to be the driveway. So because of that, I kept telling myself all summer long, hey, I'll just wait for it to dry out and then we'll get in there and get back to work. And then it rained for the whole month of June and July pretty much, or at least enough to keep it wet. And yeah, and I hired a guy to come out and do it, and he said it'd be a month, so I waited a month, and then I called him and he said it'd be another 3 weeks, so I said the hell with it. And I rented my own piece of equipment. I got a mini X coming, so I'm pulling up to the farm now, and I'll show y'all here in just a minute what it looks like now. And it's the driest I've seen it in quite some time, but you'll see it's still wet. You still couldn't drive a pickup in there. So what I've got to do today and tomorrow is try to fix up the driveway and patch up the driveway and get these mud holes out of it so we can actually start to get equipment in here and start working again. So exciting stuff, but let me show you all around. All right, so this is just walking in the driveway off the road now. And I don't remember if I ever made a final video last time when we did the dozer work to show y'all what was left, but you see we come in off the driveway here, it's got a little gravel pad, and then it drops down. You go down about a foot or two and you see the water holes. So again, this is really dry compared to what it was. This was a big soft spot that first day we came in, and we tried to actually dig it out, and I was going to have some dirt ordered in to help fill it. But when we started digging it, we just it got deeper and deeper and deeper. We couldn't find a bottom. You know, and that day, if y'all remember from the video, it was pretty dry. I mean, we drove right in here, no problem, aside from that soft spot. But ever since then, you can see it's just big ruts everywhere the bulldozer drove on his way out, more or less. He left big ruts and puddles and, well, like a pond like there is ahead of us here. And again, this water's not deep at all. It's maybe just a couple inches deep, but it just sits here and it won't go away. And so as long as it's sitting here, it just stays soft. It actually got to the point that by the end of the day, the dozer operator couldn't get through that front hole up there anymore. It was too soft. And so he actually started driving around over here and made a second pass. So you can see his little road going through here to go back around and come out the driveway over there. But you can see he did the same thing here. He hit a low spot and it's been staying in water ever since. So today is going to be a lot of work. Well, today and tomorrow and possibly Saturday, a lot of work. What I've got to do is all this debris on the sides, I've got to get around behind it and get it pulled back into the woods away from the edge of the driveway. And then dig ditches, you know, along the side. So basically, if you come back out here in the driveway, I will basically, if you're to look at the driveway here, you know, I'll dig a ditch over here sloping in and dig a ditch over here sloping in and pull that dirt into the middle to heap it all up. So just trying to do whatever I can to raise the grade. But it is about 7:45 or so in the morning. My excavator should be here ideally by 9:30, so I've got about 2 hours to get in here and do some starting work. You know, get a chainsaw going and start cutting these logs up into pieces I can handle. That mini excavator, the one I'm getting, doesn't have a thumb on it, so I'm not going to be able to actually just grab the logs and drag them. But I'm hoping it's got a good toothy bucket and I'll be able to, you know, take a chunk into them. Or worst case, I've brought a chain along and I'll just throw a chain on the end of it, throw a chain around the end of the log and then drag it that way. But you can see right now I'm up on high ground and this is solid. I can jump up and down no problem. But then again, you see another little low point. And if I step into this, it's just like soup. You just sink in right away. So, you know, we don't like that. But here's what was left from last time. We come back here and you can see it kind of opens up. It goes straight out that way, that's due west, and then you go 90 degrees and that's due east. So we got a good little burn pile set up out here in the middle. And really, if I had an extra pair of hands, I'd light that sucker up and get it burnt up and out of the way. And maybe I can. Maybe I'll find a way that I can burn some stuff. Anyway, get some stuff started burning. But this will be the main home site. We still got more clearing work to do all back in there. But you can see all this is dry for the most part. I mean, there's puddle there. But all the area where we would need to be working right now, for the most part, is dry. You just can't get to it. You just can't. You can't get back here. I mean, there's another hole, but you can't get back here to where the house is going to be because of all the mud holes in the driveway. So again, that's our goal for today. Fix up the mud holes, try to gain access back here. So I'm gonna get the chainsaw going and start working on just basically starting at the front and working my way back and clear it up. So we'll see how it goes. Woo, my baby has arrived. Mini X is on location. I did a little bit of work this morning, just trying to bust up trees. You can see this was a bigger brush pile here. I got it cleaned up while I was waiting on the Mini X, but I've already been doing some digging because I just couldn't wait any longer. But you can see what the point is. I'm digging a hole over here. That'll be the ditch. It'll drain all this into it, and the dirt that I'm digging out, I'm moving into the middle. So as I work, I'll just dig from both sides, pile up in the middle, and build me a little road. So decided to have this little gig. It's a little bit jumpy, but you know that's fine. I'll get used to it. It takes some getting used to with all the controls, but boy, it sure is fun. Brand new piece of equipment, brand new, full of fuel, and yeah, we're gonna have a fun day with it. Guess I'm due to give y'all an update. Started in up here at the road, and that original soft spot that was there, I still couldn't work through it. I dug a pretty big hole over here to try to move dirt into that soft spot, and it just would not pack. You drive into it and it would just turn into soup. So that dozer operator I had was right. You cannot put dry dirt on top of water and make it dry. It won't work. You can pile dry dirt on top of it, but then you got to let it sit and let it dry out for a while before you try to drive across it. Can't do it right then on the spot. So I started to have to kind of change my plan and work my way around. You can see I've been digging a ditch right along here, which was the plan. But since I can't come down the road and dig the ditch on both sides like I wanted to, I'm just having to dig a super deep ditch on this side. I'm coming in from the back side over here. I'm having to fight my way through the log piles. You know, use my chainsaw, buck the logs as needed to pile them out of the way to make an access where it's dry. And then whenever I get into good dry dirt, like I got over here, just started digging, you know, dug me up a great big pile of it, as big as I could before I had to move the excavator. And now I'm in kind of some soup. You can see what I'm doing here is the ditch extends in front of me, and I'm at the furthest reach of my excavator right now. So I'm digging the ditch and I'm letting this water drain into the main of the ditch. So I dig in the ditch where it's dry as much as I can, and then eventually I have to break through and let water run in. But I'm piling all this soupy clay up, and you know, just give it a couple days of good heat on it, and this stuff will dry out just fine, and I'll be able to use it for roadbed. But right now it's like pudding. You couldn't do anything with it, but just let it dry out, it'll be fine. So anyway, really, this is my next big challenge. This water hole is the deepest one, or the biggest one I've got. I fought my way past the others, and so yeah, I'm just trying to stay busy, trying to get my money's worth. So I'll keep on digging where I'm at here now. I think I can scoot the excavator over a little bit further to keep going, but then I'll have to do like I said, and I'll go around back behind this pile and fight my way through it, you know, chainsaw, excavator, whatever, so I can get to, maybe I can get to right there and get in and do some digging there. But just keep, you know, I'm just moving this ditch along the edge, and really all I'm trying to do is just dig a deep spot over here and pile the dirt over here and let it dry out, and then I'll be able to come back through later and just, you know, grade out that pile and make it a roadbed. So, you know, lesson learned here, folks. Man, if you're working in swampy conditions or an area that you know is flat, that could be a swamp, do it right the first time, because I'm having to spend all this extra time and money to fix what we messed up the first time. So, yeah, staying busy, it's going good, and this little excavator sure is fun. I gotta tell y'all, it's a lot of fun. So, give you all a little action shot here. I'm getting pretty good at it. Obviously, I can't do everything while I'm filming, because I'm filming, I'm holding the phone. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Having to trade off hands here. Let y'all see, but we'll just take a little bite. Oh yeah, get you some nice gray nasty crap. Pull it in close, swing it around. Whoop. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, how's that make you Seasick. All right, time to get serious. See the water running? I meant to catch that for y'all earlier, but water's just pouring out of that hole as I dig dirt. I'm running down here along the ditch. I'm just getting in further in, probably running about there. It's about the deepest point. It's not going to go all the way, but that's fine. I don't expect it to. This whole ditch along here is pretty deep, about 3 feet or more deep. And you can see I've cut a wall on the opposite side, just straight down. I'm reaching as far as I can, and now I'm just letting this puddle drain into the ditch as I dig it. And again, I'm just I'm working on a little dry spot. I'm just sitting right here, a little dry spot, just digging everything around me as much as I can, trying to let all this drain out. So without further ado, I'm gonna keep on running. Here's the pit I was telling y'all about that I started digging. And it's every bit of 6 foot deep down there. But what's good about this, what makes me happy about this, is that even though there was standing water right here when I showed up this morning, I dug down this deep and it's dry. Dry, dry, dry. You know, everybody was so concerned. Everybody's giving me crap about where the water table's at. You know, I'm gonna dig a basement and it's gonna flood. Well, I mean, I can tell you now, this is gonna be about the depth of my basement right here. It's only about 6 feet below grade is how deep the basement will be. So I'm feeling pretty good. I thought about taking the excavator and just digging a pit somewhere else or finishing out this one and just seeing how deep I could go and see whether or not I hit water. But you know, I wanted to focus on what's important now, which is working on the road. And as you can see, it's a bit of a mess, but we're getting it done. It's about 2 o'clock. I'm gonna go find something to eat and come back and keep on working.